Hi everybody, the Alarm Doctor here again. First off, I want to apologize for having to split that first video I made into two parts. I'm new to this uploading to YouTube and didn't realize that you were limited to 15 minutes, so I had to split that video in half. I've decided that I'm going to stick with the Peerless Gamewell mechanisms right now, since that's what I started out with. And today we're looking at a couple of Peerless spring sector mechanisms. Now, these are unique as far as the Gamewell mechanisms go. They are considered self-winding, meaning that there is no mainspring that you have to wind up eventually after several signals have been sent in. And what I mean by self-winding is if you look at these mechanisms, they have the large winding lever, and what happens is when you pull these down, it actually winds the mechanism for it to run and send its signal. Now you'll notice these two are a little bit different. This one has the non-interfering coils. It's a non-interfering mechanism. This one does not have the non-interfering coils, so as soon as you trip this one, it will immediately start sending its signal in. And it does not have the provision to prevent a jumbled signal once you start it. So those are the two main differences between the non-interfering and interfering spring sector mechanism. Now there are some differences as far again as the code wheels go, which I'm going to show you here in just a minute. So we'll check that out. I want to show this to collectors because they have to understand that if they are looking online or at a flea market at code wheels, if you're not real careful, you have to really look close, you'll end up with the wrong code wheel for this mechanism. So we'll get to that. Okay, if we look here, we've got a standard Peerless mechanism. This one happens to be three-fold, and the spring sector mechanism. So here's the first major difference, and it's a big one as far as finding the correct code wheel, and I'm going to show you here in just a second. I'm going to start both of these mechanisms. Alright, now if you look real close, you got to pay attention and you can see what's going on here. Maybe if I do this, it'll help. Do you notice it now? They're rotating in the opposite direction. That's the big difference. Standard Peerless mechanisms rotate the code wheel in a counterclockwise direction. The spring sector mechanisms rotate their code wheel in a clockwise direction. So, do you understand where the problem comes in when it comes to code wheels? We'll take a closer look here. Take these code wheels off and get these mechanisms out of the way. Alright, you're at a flea market or online and you're looking at these code wheels and you're going, okay, what do we get? What's for what here? So let me give you a couple of clues on making sure that you have the correct code wheel for these. First off, here's a third code wheel. The really obvious one is, if you notice on this code wheel, there is no provision for a set screw. If there is no provision for a set screw, this code wheel will not work. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you look at these code wheels, you will notice that, and you got to look close. I'll see if I can bring them up here to the camera a little closer. And I know it's hard to see, but look real close. And I can't get this too close because my camera doesn't seem to want to focus once I get so close. But look at the teeth of the code wheel. The code wheel for the spring sector mechanism has the angles cut on the right side of the tooth. The standard code wheel has the angles cut on the left side of the tooth. And that is to accommodate for the different directions in which the mechanism turns them. Also, you have to pay attention to the shields. Now, if you look at these two shields together, the difference is obvious. You notice that the bend tab on this shield is on the left, and the bent tab on this shield is on the right. So you got to get both things right, and believe me, I've seen them with the wrong shields on them too. So flip these back over again and make sure that you can see the difference. Maybe if I put my fingers behind them, it'll be a little bit easier to see. Okay, spring sector, angles cut on the right side of the tooth. Standard Peerless, it's cut on the left side of the tooth. I hope that helps you out with that. But I get it all the time. Guys will say, oh, I bought this code wheel, I put it on my mechanism, and it doesn't work. And that's more than likely the reason why when it comes to the older brass framed Peerless mechanisms. And also, you have to be careful too if you're looking for a mechanism for a standard Peerless and you end up with a spring sector code wheel. That's not going to work right either. So keep your eyes open on that, and I hope this helps you. Make sure you get the right parts for your mechanism. Okay, there's one other thing I wanted to show you on these code wheels that it's kind of an afterthought that might also help you, is making sure that the shields are correct. Is if you look at these code wheels, you can see that on the standard code wheel for the standard Peerless mechanism, the shield is to the left of the first tooth. If you look at the spring sector, the shield is to the right of the first tooth. So again, I hope all those points kind of help you make sure you get the correct code wheel for your mechanism. Probably 95% of the code wheels that you'll find at flea markets and online are the standard Peerless code wheels where the mechanism rotates counterclockwise. Probably 5% of them are going to be the correct for a spring sector. They're a lot harder to come across and to find. So with that being said, again, I'd like to say properly maintained, and I have to stress properly maintained. There is no faster, more reliable way to notify the fire department of an emergency than a municipal telegraph system. This is the Alarm Doctor. See you next time.